Can you hear me now? Shouldn't leave their stuff on the ground. Don't. Hey, Joe. That's as high as it'll go. Yeah.
Gracious good morning, sports fans, and welcome once again to East Kentwood High School here at the KPS Aquatic Center, where we are getting set for day 3, our final 2 sessions of the 2023 Don Kimble Memorial Invitational Swim and Dive Meet. My name is Joey Sutherland. My executive producer and director is Chase Joseph. Our public address announcer and meet manager is Mr. Brandon Graff. And we want to thank you for joining us here exclusively on the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network, where for the next about 3 hours, we'll be keeping you company getting set for the prelims of day 3. I, as a favor, tried to tweak the video slightly and the scoreboard so that I had a Olivet Nazarene parent who wanted to see diving consistently. While it is certainly not a great view of the diving, I did do my best to try to let you at least watch in the background. And obviously with the scoreboard, you can see swimming at the top and diving at the bottom. Tough to see, I grant you, but it's the best I could do, and I hope it helps a little bit. All right, folks, as Brandon Graff is welcoming the teams. We are not far away. We are not far away from the opening. All right, we're going to go straight into the 100-yard butterfly. We will have 5 heats here of the women's 100 fly. For the men, there will be 4 heats. After the start, I'll turn it over to Mr. Graff and let him tell you who is in the respective lanes. There's our first start here of the day.
In this first heat, in lane 2, Ennis McNichols. Lane 3, Brielle Shaw. Lane 4, Jordan Harrelson. Lane 5, Lauren Metzke. Lane 6, Narisha Arlene. And lane 7, Juliana Witt.
All right, thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one, as our seed time to beat here is 106 by Harrelson from Olivet Nazarene in lane number 4. After the first 50, our leader with a 27:53 is McNichols from Hillsdale. Now they're coming up on the back 50 here. Again, will we see better than the 106? Looks like it. Looks like it for sure. And hitting the wall at 59.52. That's a personal best. And a sub-minute to boot is Inez McNichols from Hillsdale. Second place going 103.05 is Harrelson. That's a 2.5 second drop. Almost 3 seconds, I beg your pardon. Third place in that heat will go to Witt with a personal best of 104. All right, we had a little bit of a and they're off. All right, we're in the second heat. Who do we got, Mr. Graff? All right, maybe having a delay here on Brandon for the second of 5 heats here. As they're coming up on the halfway mark right now, our leader will be
in the second heat in lane 1, Faith Markley. Lane 2, Phoebe Johnson. Lane 3, Julia Katulski. Lane 4, Bree Leach. Lane 5, Micah Casper. Lane 6, Grayson Kolsecki. Lane 7, Olivia Leathers. And lane 8, Emma McClellan.
Thank you, Mr. Graff, on that one, as they're on their back 50 right now. It looked like it was Micah Casper from Davenport in the lead in lane 5. They're making their way home right now. Tough to see from this angle. Looks like, I don't even want to guess here. And it will be from Wayne State, Julia Katulski. She goes 101.1. Second place went to Callie. Third place to Bree Leach. Now we're into the next heat.
In lane 1, Jalen Harrison. Lane 2, Danica Fassinen. Lane 3, Ashley Perry. Lane 4, Andrea Bustos. Lane 5, Axel Riccioni. Lane 6, Hannah Martin Cook. Lane 7, Callie Lucero. Lane 8, Claire Hines.
All right, thank you very much again, Mr. Graff, for that one. Seed time here. Now we have some, we did have, remember, McNichols in that first heat go sub 1 minute. We have 4 that are seed time sub 1 minute. And it looks like we'll hold that with 7 of the 8 swimmers going sub 28 on that first 50. That usually works out to a lot of sub minutes on this one coming home. Here they come right now. We're at the 50-second mark. Make it 55 at the flags. This one's close. Looks like lane 3 to me. And it is. Ashley Perry from Olivet Nazarene goes 58.35 to take the W.
Heat 4.
Second place on that one, 58.58 out of lane 4. All right, now we're up to the 4th of 5. Let's see who we have in this one. Mr. Graff, could you be so kind and let us know who we will be having swimming here in the 4th?
In this heat in lane 1, Amelia Edens. Lane 2, Sarah Panchnet. Lane 3, Flores Linar. Lane 4, Megan Clifford. Lane 5, Barbara Munoz-Quintero. Lane 6, Asaya Shank. Lane 7, Evie Dice. Lane 8, Kat Hutter.
And for the record, Mrs. Shank, who's listening, I did correct him. You inadvertently told your daughter I said it 3 different ways. That was our public address announcer. I did tell him it is Asaya. And I apologize to the Patanachek family as he butchered that one pretty bad as well. But remember, we don't have pronunciation guides here, so we do the best we can. Coming in, about to hit the wall out of lane number 4, it's Megan Clifford. She goes 56.69. Nice swim. Second place on that one was lane 5, Barbara Munoz Quintero, who goes 57.37. And we're off with the
In
fifth
lane
and final
1,
heat.
Chelsea Inglesman. Lane 2, Megan Chimini. Lane 3, Kayleen Darby. Lane 4, Alicia Pinkowitz. Lane 5, Emily Solarski. Lane 6, Taylor King. Lane 7, Allie Feslakos. Lane 8, Leah Horvath.
Thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. As our final heat here of the 100 fly for the women is about to hit the halfway mark. Looks like it'll be lane number 5 in the lead. Beg your pardon, lane number 4 with Pinkowitz, who goes a 26.50 on her first 50. They are now on their way back. Hitting the wall for the final time here. Heading home right now. Let's see if we got an angle on this one. Looks like lane 4 still has the lead. And it is Alicia Pinkowitz goes 56.54.
And now the men's 100 butterfly, heat 1 of 4.
Congratulations, Alicia. Well, you're going to be up in the leaders. And a nice swim for Chelsea Engelsman from Davenport. She took second place in that heat, going sub 1 minute for the first time this year, 57.98. Now the men's 100 fly. Here's the first heat of 4. Brandon, who do we got?
In lane 1, Muhammad Alouat. Lane 2, Matthew Richmond. Lane 3, Evan Hutardo. Lane 4, Lucas Harding. Lane 5, Colin Alward. Lane 6, Mitchell McMath. Lane 7, Brody Millerow. And lane 8, Austin Husky.
All right, thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. As we're coming up at the halfway mark, our leader at 24.71 is Hurtado. As they're hitting the wall, on their way back, our seed time to beat on this one is just barely a sub-minute, but I think we're going to crush that one with mid-50s here, and actually low 50s. Matthew Richmond goes 52.01 for first place of that heat. Chelsea, nice job. Second place was Hurtado, who goes 52.64.
Heat 2.
And now we're getting ready for the second of 4 heats here for the men's 100 fly. You can see in the background right now we have the women's 1 meter diving going on.
In the second heat in lane 1, Ryan Kruger. Lane 2, Sibi Raj. Lane 3, Joao Pedro Nopira. Lane 4, Eric Pertzak. Lane 5, Logan Burnt. Lane 6, Porter Hoffman. Lane 7, Trevor Schroeder. Lane 8, Nick Bracken.
All right, thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. On their way back here. And it will be, oh, wow, what a time there for Perzak. Eric Perzak from Davenport goes 50.08.
Heat 3.
That's a half a second drop. Second place right next to him was Logan Burnt from Bethel, who goes 50.25 with a 2-second drop. And now we're into the third of 4 heats here.
In this third heat, in lane 1, Titus Smith. Lane 2, Connor Spanos. Lane 3, Ryan Harrison. Lane 4, Logan Fox. Lane 5, Ali Sheed. Lane 6, Lorenzo Tessieri. Lane 7, Braden Pertzitz. And lane 8, Ian Clapp.
On their way for the first of 2 here. First of 250s. At the wall, 22.67 for Logan Fox. This could be a sub 50 time here. He has done it once. He's got a 49.51 as a seed time. This might be a 48 low if he holds. Inside the flags here, final seconds. Nope, he goes 49.05, which is still a fine. 49.05 for first place. Second place,
Heat
50.38.
4, final heat.
So
In
49.05
lane
was
1, Colin Shea. Lane 2, Reed Gilbert. Lane 3, Joshua Mahaney. Lane 4, Alejandro Robles Ruiz. Lane 5, Marcel Zetlak. Lane 6, Trevor Jones. Lane 7, Michael Minert. Lane 8, Colin Neely.
our fastest swimmer, at least with a pre-seed time, is Alejandro Robles Ruiz from Saginaw Valley. He's in lane 4, and at the halfway mark, he's got a 22.91 and the leader. Again, it was Logan Fox from Saginaw Valley with that 49.05 in the last heat. Second place was Lorenzo Tassinari from Wayne at 50:38. Jeez, oh Pete. All right, here they're coming back home right now. It is a not quite comfortable lead, but a lead nonetheless for Robles Ruiz, who goes 49.18. Second place, going 50.08, is Mahaney.
And now the women's 400 IM, heat 1 of 3.
Now we will transfer into the women's 400 IM. Each competitor will swim 100 yards of the 4 competitive swim strokes. And we're off. Brandon, who do we have in this heat? The first of 3 heats for the women.
In this first heat in lane 1, Julianne Witt. Lane 2, Emma Hale. Lane 3, Emma Decut. Lane 4, Marissa Boot. Lane 5, Heston Horling. Lane 6, Mary Suarez De La Fuente. Lane 7, Madeline Critchell. Lane 8, Deanna Muccioli.
Thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. As at the halfway mark of the first leg, it is a 28. I think our fastest time was 28.88 from Marissa Booth from Wayne. Hitting the wall. Heading home right now, getting ready to transfer from the butterfly into the backstroke. In the lead in lane 4, it will be Marissa Booth at 101.71. Second place is Haston Horling, also from Wayne, at 102.26. Remember, this is the prelims. The finals will be tonight. As I mentioned time and time again, it is always my belief what decides who wins any of the IMs or individual medleys will be what happens when we get into the third leg of it, which is the breaststroke. Final 50 here of the backstroke, though. Looks like we've transitioned from the 1 meter with the girls to the 3 meter with the boys. Whether this is still warm-up or actually scoring. Nope, it is scoring, as I see Dylan Tyson from Davenport about to do a forward 2.5 somersault with a pike, 2.4 DD, as we transition from the backstroke now into the breaststroke. Dylan got up high, nicely done there. Let's see how the judges scored that one. He's going to get scores of 6.5, 7, 6, 7, 5.5, or 46.8. Or 48.6. Coming in here after the first 50 of the breaststroke in the lead, lane number 4. That's still going to be Marissa Booth at 39.02. And, you know, folks, I did not see what was happening all the way up in lane 7 as Madeline Critchell, unless she's a 50 behind. It's hard to tell. My angle is blocked from the coaches in front of me. I have to use the screen, same as you. And now transitioning into the freestyle at 3:27.77 is Marissa Booth with a 3-second lead over Haston Horling here in the first heat of the women's 400-yard IM prelim. Thank you for tuning us in. I just got a nice shout out from my homeboy, Junie Miles. Miles, thank you for watching us here on the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network. And you were the best concession worker we had yesterday. Coming into the wall with there was not a split time on that one. Seed time to beat here was 4:39.04, and beating that by 9 seconds is Marissa Booth, who goes 4:30.09. So a 9-second drop. Second place is Horling, who goes 4:34.89. Folks, that's a 10-second drop. Diana Musioli from Wayne will get third at 4:38.41. Fourth place was Dickhut, Emma from Hillsdale, who goes 4:52.83. Fifth place, 4:53.38, is Suarez de la Fuente. That is a 6-second drop. Then 5:20.40 is the best time for Juliana Witt from Wayne.
Heat 2.
And Critchell even in 3 seconds. So all 8 times there were personal bests. Nice job, great heat. That'll move us into our second heat here of the women's 400 IM.
In lane 1, Rose Haney. Lane 2, Megan Hitcher. Lane 3, Abigail Wampler. Lane 4, Samantha Fowler. Lane 5, Joanna Burnham. Lane 6, Roden Edegecko. Lane 7, Isabel Newitt. And lane 8, Cassidy Lease.
All right, thank you, Mr. Graff, for that intro. As our seed time to beat in this heat is 4:35.12 by Samantha Fowler from Saginaw Valley. And she's the leader at the end of the first 50 at 29.11. All right, let's quickly see who we have. Looks like Kaylee Mills from Saginaw Valley is about to do 105C, forward 2.5 somersault with the tuck on the 1 meter board. You can just barely see her making the approach now. Gets up, enters nicely. She had 40 points coming in. She is going to add 42 more with 6.6, 5.5, 6.5.
I always like to know where I'm at. Yeah, can you bring
Getting
that
some
down?
background here.
I'll pay for a copy.
What they say about curiosity.
Yeah.
And still holding the lead at 139.01 is Fowler, but on her heels at 140.08 is Wampler, and 140.7 is Joanna Burnham.
Left. I don't want to go past her. Yeah. So I'll pace myself. That way I know exactly.
All right. 2:14. Actually, we have a leader change. Abigail Wampler is in the lead now from Davenport. What was her seed time? 4:50. But now we're in here to the breaststroke portion, which always changes the complexity of the meet. Still holding the lead by 0.2 of a second. And there's a less than 3.8 second difference between first and third place. So Wampler, Fowler, and Burnham are really duking it out here, drafting each other and swimming well. And heat number 2 of 3 of the women's 400 IM. At the wall, Wampler with a 39.77, exact same time as Fowler, and they're still about a 0.23 second differential, with only a half a second differential with Burnham. These guys are really, really battling strong.
I guess it would be within the realm of possibilities around here.
All right, just over the 4-minute mark here. Coming up on our last 50, we have a change in the leaderboard. It's Fowler, Samantha Fowler from Saginaw Valley recaptures the lead at 4:05.92 with 1:50 to go. But this is still less than a 2-second differential between first and third place. These 3 athletes are really battling here. Last flip turn coming home in the freestyle. Who's going to win this heat of the 400 IM? Looks like it's going to be out of lane number 4, Samantha Fowler, who had the seed time to beat. She'll hit the wall with a time of 4:36.04. Wampler is second at 4:37.50. And then Burnham goes 4:38.96. Those are some really good times. 4:36 for holy cow, I'm just noticing this now, folks. For Wampler, that is a 13-second drop from her seed time. And a 5-second drop from Hillsdale's Joanne Burnham. So some remarkable swimming in that heat. That's just fun to watch, especially when it's that close.
Heat 3.
Isabella Newitt from Bethel dropped 4 seconds on her own. She went down to 5:34.48. That was a good swim as well. Now that's going to bring us to the final heat for the women in the 400 IM. And they're off.
In lane 1, Caitlin Sadegata. Lane 2, Lauren Codier. Lane 3, Elise Mason. Lane 4, Ella Wagner. Lane 5, Ellie Belmore. Lane 6, Sierra Meissen. Lane 7, Lily Heath. And lane 8, Madeline Puera.
All right, Ella Wagner has the seed time to beat in this heat at 4:27.93, which is still faster than almost any time we've had so far. 28:17 is the leader after the first 50, and that, of course, is Wagner from Davenport, followed by Ellie Belmore from Wayne State at 28:46. Again, though, folks, this is just fun to watch some of these fast swim times here at the Don Kimble Invitational. And I revert back to what I said yesterday. Coach Kimble would be enjoying the heck out of this meet, as he would love to see the competitiveness and the great swimming that we've been blessed with this weekend. And diving as well, as the boys are back up on the, that's Nick Bohm from Bethel, about to do 405C. Inward 2.5 somersault with a tuck. Gets up super high, open the legs a little too much, but a nice entry. Let's see how the judges score it. 6, 5.5, 5, 6, 5.5 for 35.9. Brings him up to 58 here in the second round.
All right, I'm grabbing agua. Agua.
Now it's from Aquinas, Joseph Lenzik. And he wastes no time. Gets up, enters nicely. Judges scores. He had 51.3 coming in. He's going to add 40.8 with 6, 5.5, 5, 6, 5.5. And he's at 92.1. I'll do one more here, and that is from Aquinas, Riley Hunt. That's 203B. Back 1.5 somersault with a pike, 2.3. Oh, nope, I fooled you. That's back down to the girls on the 1 meter board. But I'll still finish his dive since I brought it up. She was at 72 points as she gets set to start the third round. Judges scores. 5.5, 6, 6, 5.5, 5.5, 39.1. All right, now back over to the IM here in the championship heat. We're at the 245 mark right now. Ella Wagner from Davenport with a 37.50 is at 245.74. On her heels is Belmore from Wayne State at 248.57. Both Wagner and Belmore are still sub-40s on these breaststrokes. Coming up right now inside the flags. About to transition from the breaststroke into the freestyle with a 38.77 for Wagner, 39.74 for Belmore. They're at 324 and 328 respectively. They will have the 250s or 100 yards left of the freestyle or front crawl. Wagner continues her hot hand as she goes 31.6, is at 356.11. 31.2 on a faster 50 at 359.52 is Belmore on their final 50. Here they come. Is that 3 seconds enough? Not quite 3.5. Coming home right now, it looks like it will be. It's still a full body length lead with half of the pool length to go. And 4:27.71 with a quarter-second drop is Wagner. Belmore goes 4:30.12. Folks, that is a 13-second drop for Ellie Belmore. Ridiculously good. Third place will go Elise Mason from Hillsdale. She goes 4:45.03. That is a 4-second drop. Fourth place with a time of 4:54.10 is Sierra Mason from Saginaw Valley. Fifth place is Madeline Pura from Wayne. That's a personal best at 4:56.54, first time going sub 5. $5:25.72 for Courtier. And 5:28.39 for Heath. That's a 3-second drop. So let's see how Santagita ends up. And she's going to get a 2-second drop. So six
And
of the
now
8
the men's
competitors.
400 individual medley, heat 1 of 3.
6 of the 8 competitors with personal bests on that one. But congratulations once again to Ella Wagner from Davenport. She is our leader going into the finals tonight at 4:27.71. Now the men's 3 heats of the 400 IM. Who do we got in
lane
heat
1, Joe O'Neill. Lane 2, Ben Sidlowski. Lane 3, Alex Duhame. Lane 4, Grant Sandstedt. Lane 5, David Schertzkyle. Lane 6, Joe Leonard. Lane 7, Jason Swinson.
All right, here in the first heat of the men's 400 IM, our seed time to beat in this one is Grant Sandstedt from Davenport at 4:14.24. His teammate, David Sisgail, has a 4:16.15 seed time. So these two are going to definitely be pacing each other in this race. Taking a quick look up at the boys on the 3-meter. Let's see who our next competitor is. Oh, actually, I beg your pardon. It's still the girls. Wadsworth Kirkerroot just finished up her reverse 1.5 with 5.5, 5.5, 5, 5.5, 5 for 33.6. Now we go back up to the 3-meter. Owen Fleck from Bethel doing dive 301C. He's on the far board, gets up high, enters nicely. Had 54 points coming in. He's going to add 5.5 across the board for 29.7, brings him up to 86. Sam Hudkins from Saginaw Valley at 85 points coming in is going to be doing a back 2.5 somersault with a tuck, 2.8 DD. He's on the board closest to the judges. Gets up super high, enters nicely. Adding to his 85 points will be scores of 5, 5, 5, 5, 6 for 42 points and 127. All right, let's check back in here on the 400 IM for the men. And it is 156.08 for Segal. And Sandstedt's at 157.67. Not far off the pace is Duhame from Wayne. So those three are really battling each other well. This might be a fun finish here. As we're in the breaststroke now, opening up his lead slightly in lane number 5 is the Davenport standout. He's at 2:30.59. And now taking over second place right now from Wayne, 2:32.29 is Duhame, and Sandstedt at 2:33.79. Last 50 of the breaststroke. This has been a big help to Duhame getting back into this one. And he might even be the leader going into the final 100 of freestyle. And he is with a 34.35. He's at 3:06.64. Second place, 3:07.15 is Sisgail, and Sandstedt at 3:11.07. Wow. I talk about it all the time. What a difference being able to be a good breaststroker is in the IM. Duhame with a 29.25. Sisgail with a 31.1. 30.22 for Sandstedt as they go to the last one. But it is a 3-second lead for Duhame, thanks to that amazing breaststroke 100. He really, he was right there at the leader, but he dropped a lot of time, picked up the difference, and is going to cruise in for the win at 4:04.82. With a 18-second drop to take this heat. Second place, 4:08.60 is Sisgail. That's a 8-second drop. Third place is Sandstedt. who goes 4:09.87. And that, folks, is another 5-second drop. Fourth place, 4:23.56. Joe O'Neill, that's a personal best. Man, we are seeing some spectacular. That first place, I can't get over that. Alex Duhame from Wayne State. He goes 4:04.82, dropping in that one, as I said, 18 seconds. That's a great taper there, as this is essentially the midway mark, the first taper of the year for the college swimmers who have a very long season. For the practical purposes, it goes September till March. And we are at the midpoint of the season. This is what most of these schools are using as their end of competition. As we're getting ready for the second heat here of the prelims for the men's 400 IM. And we're underway. Brandon Graff, who do we got swimming in this heat?
Lane 1, Nicholas Slater. Lane 2, Joe Sheese. Lane 3, Marco Fusila. Lane 4, Trevor Jones. Lane 5, Benjamin Wayman. Lane 6, Santiago Rafael. Lane 7, Christopher Uzonachin. And lane 8, Rodrigo Vargas.
Thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. And thank you, all of you who chose to spend your Sunday morning with us here on the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network. Joey Sutherland keeping you company. It is truly an honor and a privilege for me to do so for you and with you here. If you have not done so already, I would humbly and graciously appreciate if you're able to hit the like button. And if you feel the work that we do, remember, I am not a part of Davenport or any of the other schools. I do these streamings on my own. It's my own personal equipment. And if you feel that what I offer to the sports brings value, then do me a favor and punch that subscribe button. All right, at the first 100, it is Trevor Jones from Wayne State with a 29 flat, putting him at 54.07. I had a great little conversation. I know I keep bringing him up, but Christopher Azuno-Chin from Aquinas, he became my darling last year at this event, and I talked to his coach this morning, and she couldn't be happier with him with all the drops that he's had already here at this meet. She said she wishes she could get just a smidget more consistency out of him, because he'll have great meets and then okay meets. But he's a great young man. He's never really in contention to win the events, but man, does he compete, and it's fun to watch. All right. 30.77 for Jones. Wayman is at 30.71, and they're at 156.19 and 157.93 respectively. We're in, obviously, as you can tell by the background noise, we're in the breaststroke. And it is a 34.68 at 2:30. Wayman at 35.51, 2:34. And Vucelik from Wayne at 34.49 at 2:36. So it's, as always is the case, somebody either drops back or picks up when we get to the breaststroke. Finishing off the breaststroke, getting ready to transition into the freestyle. And a 34.85 for Jones puts him at 3:05.72. 3:11.05 for Wayman, and Vucelik at 3:12.74. Now they have 100 yards of the front crawler freestyle. Hitting the wall there. Wow, 29.09, 29.29, and it's still about a 4.5 second lead for Jones going into the final 50. That should be enough for him to coast in here for the prelim to take the second heat. His seed time was 4:08 flat, and he's going to end at 4:03.45. A 5+ second drop. Second place, Wainman, who goes 4:07.53. An 8-second drop for that. Third place, Vucelic, Marco Vucelic from Wayne, goes 4:10.85. And folks, that's an 11-second drop. Fourth place is Slater with a personal best of 4:15 flat. A 14-second drop for Bethel's Joe Sheets. He drops 14 seconds to go 4:23.62. Great swims all around. Let's see what Christopher Azuno Chin can do here. He's trying to, and he does get a personal best, but he only drops a second on that one. Or two, yeah, about a second and a half, 5:03.07. He's hoping this afternoon to go sub-5 for the first time in his career. Oh, here we go with the third and final heat. Brandon, who do we got coming up here in the final heat of the men's 400-yard individual medley?
In this final heat in lane 1, Trevor Frericks. Lane 2, David Gann. Lane 3, Scott Hassett. Lane 4, Alma Sedlak. Lane 5, Matteo Capitosi. Lane 6, Zach English. Lane 7, Nick Bracken. Lane 8, Arthur Marquez.
Thank you, Mr. Graff. Almost Zedlak from Saginaw Valley has the seed time to beat here of 4:02.94. Could we potentially see our first sub-4 minute 400 IM? It would only be the second one I will have ever seen in my career if we are able to do so. Seen live. I've seen it on TV, obviously, multiple times, but streaming myself. For Zedlak, that was a 28.71, puts him at 53.05 at the completion of the first leg, as they're now into the backstroke. You go. Remember, you start out with the fly, back, breast free. This is going to be really interesting to see where they're at the first 50 of the backstroke. Zedlak goes 31.77. He's at 124.82. Marquise from Saginaw Valley with a 32.27 puts him at 126.53. Finishing up the backstroke right now, getting ready to hit the wall. Almost Zedlak is with a 31.39. He's at 156.21. Now the very important breaststroke. He's got 100 yards of breaststroke. The only other person under 2 minutes right now is Marquise from Saginaw Valley at 157.88. Let's take a look at where Zedlak's at when he hits the wall here after his first 50 abreast. He'd love to be at a 38. He goes 35.87. So if he can hold that if he can even keep it at 37, he'll be ecstatic. 36.02 for Mateo. Scott at a 36.28, 36.98 for Arthur Marquise. The back end 50 of the breaststroke as they get ready to transition into the freestyle. Let's see where they're at. Zedlak is going to hit the wall at, he wanted to be under 3:10, and he's at 3:07 with a 35.84, which he was a faster split than I thought he would get. 37.39 for Marquise, he's at 3:12. 3:14 for both Hazlet and Capitasti. And here they come with the first 50 of the freestyle. Zedlak wanted to be under 3:35. It's going to be close. He didn't quite make it. He's at 3:37.71. So I don't think we're going to see a sub-4, at least in the prelims. Look at that. Mateo went 28.67 on his first 50 free to bring him back within a nickel of the lead. 5 seconds off the pace. Zedlak right now coasting in. He's at the flags. Just over 4 minutes. He's going to hit the wall at 4:06.57. Second place, Capotasti from Saginaw Valley, who goes 4:09.77. And for him, that's a 5-second drop. Third place went to down in lane 8, Arthur Marquez. That's his personal best at 4:10.19. Fourth place was Scott Hazlitt, who goes 4:11.67. And folks, that's another 5-second drop. So 6 of the 8 times were personal bests as we complete.
Up, the women's 200 freestyle, heat 1 of 6.
Now we are going to have 6 heats of the ladies 200 free. There is the start. Brandon, who do we got?
In lane 3, Alexa Heber. Lane 4, Sabine Branford. Lane 5, Flora Sklinner. Lane 6, Justine Circa.
Thank you very much. Seed time to beat. We do not have a seed time here. And we've seen good swims from all 4 of these competitors this weekend. So I wouldn't be surprised at anything that we see here being very good. Again, a decent crowd here for a Sunday morning. Let's check out the numbers. Respectable numbers, too, on the stream. So thank you, both those that are in attendance and those who couldn't make it or are watching us. If you saw any of the stream yesterday, you noticed we were ridiculously excited to know that we had 12 different countries that are watching these streams this weekend. 12 different countries outside of the U.S. that is watching the stream here this weekend. So thank you. $29.96 there for Alexa Hyber. A couple of 31s for Sabine and Flora, and a 35 there for Justine. $200-yard freestyle. I suspect we're going to see something just over 2 minutes here. But I was wrong. 154.70 as Alexa Hyber, she's going to be in contention to be in the top 8 tonight. It's probably Scott's, our head of officials. He loses his phone all the time.
Heat 2.
All right, we're getting set for the second heat here. I said there's 6 heats of this one. We did have a scratch in this one. So who do we have in this one after all, Brandon?
In lane 1, Olivia Leifers. Lane 2, Faith Markey. Lane 3, Hilda Bridgeblood. Lane 4, Elizabeth Williams. Lane 5, Ella Althaver. Lane 6, Katie DiBenedito. And lane 7, Murphy Crawford.
Thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. Appreciate the job you're doing as both the meet manager and our public address announcer. Let's take a look at our seed time to beat on this one. And that's Elizabeth Williams from Bethel. She's got a 2:07.68. She would love to go sub 2 for the first time here. what are we at? A lot of 31 to 33 were actually everybody except for Crawford, who was a 34.16. At the halfway mark here of the second of 6 heats. All right, hitting the wall, 32-34 for, what lane is that? Looked like lane 3. Let me check out my heat sheet. Bridgeblood from Bethel, Hilda. She had a 2:11 seed time. They're coming in right now. We're going to see who's going to take this one. This is interesting. This is a tighter, stronger heat than a lot expected. 2:03.88. So congratulations, Hilda. Bridgeblood drops 8 seconds to take that heat.
3.
Second place goes to Olivia Leathers from Hillsdale at 2:07.47. That's a 10-second drop. And 2:07 out of lane 5.
In lane 1, Chloe Boyven. Lane 2, Callie Lucero. Lane 3, Kylie Clark. Lane 4, Josefina Gonzalez. Lane 5, Laura Galley. Lane 6, Ines McNichols. Lane 7, Jamie Parsons. Lane 8, Jenna Fugly.
Thank you, Mr. Graff. And missing out on the previous heat, it was Ella Allfavor from Aquinas who went 2:07.75. That was a 2+ second drop. She got 3rd place. All right, in this one at the first 50, it is a 26.84 for Josefina Gonzalez from Bethel. That is a fine swim, a very fine swim there. And did we have another scratch? Looks like we did. Lane 7's a scratch. All right, now we are at still 28.81 for 55.65 for Gonzalez. 57.41 for Lara Galley from Bethel as well. As we're coming up on the 150-yard mark here of the 200. 125.89, 30.24 for Gonzalez. 30.98, 128.39 for Galley, and McNichols at 129.87. Those are 3 sub 130 going into the last 50. Are we going to have some sub 2 minutes here? It's going to be close. I think we will. At 155 and hitting the wall, 156.65. Josefina Gonzalez. That is the second fastest time we've seen here today. 159.67 for Lara Gali.
Heat 4.
And third was 2:01.99. And actually, folks, 6 of the 7 were personal bests in that heat. Now we're into heat number 4. Let's find out who we have with Brandon Graff.
In lane 1, Megan Seeloff. Lane 2, Lucy Wilkerson. Lane 3, Caitlin Inman. Lane 4, Barbara Munoz Quintero. Lane 5, Grace Barnard. Lane 6, Megan Clifford. Lane 7, Haley Waters. Lane 8, Grayson Kozleski.
All right, 26.64 for Barbara Munoz Quintero as the lead from Wayne State after the first 50 with 150 yards to go. Good job. We've seen some really good times here in the women's 200 freestyle and a lot of personal bests through the first 3 heats. Now we are in the back 3 heats here of the women's 6 total heats here. 55.69 for Munoz Quintero. with a 56.23 for Clifford, 56.91 for Inman. We are at the 150-yard mark. Our leader will continue to be Muñez Quintero at 125.02, and she's still holding sub 30-second 50s. 150 to go. What are we going to see here? Her best time is 154.15. She has a chance to beat that one. Now remember, folks, you got to save something for tonight. Tonight's the finals. This is still just the prelims. You want to be in the dance, but you don't need to win it right now, as she cruises in at 153.93. That is a half a second drop. Second place will go to Clifford, 155.80.
Heat 5.
That's a 2-second drop, and third place went to Seeloff from Wayne State at 156.59. That's a 3-second drop. So 7 of the
In
8.
lane 1, Ava Frick. Lane 2, Isabel Andrek. Lane 3, Yulia Mitzik. Lane 4, Andrea Bustos. Lane 5, Ali Vasilekos. Lane 6, Caroline Holmes. Lane 7, Elson Early. And lane 8, Danica Fessinen.
Thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. As wow, we're just seeing drop times by everybody. Some really good ones and some great races. At the first 50 here in heat number 5, it is a what's the lowest? 26.83 or 20? Yeah, 26.83, 26.93, 26.75 for Mizik. So we're all over the place, but we had 3 sub 27s on the first 50. We're coming up at the 100-yard mark. Bustos has the seat time to beat at 154.10. And it is so close. There is less than a second differential between the first 5 competitors, all in the 56 mark. Still Bustos at the lead, just by the hair on her chinny chin chin. Swimmers are coming in. Coming up on the 150-yard mark, our leader will be Andrea Bustos at 125.40 with a 29.27. Still so close between first through 5th, with the last 3 not actually having bad swims of any stretch of the imagination. Who wants this one? They're coming home right now. Now the battle really is to see who's going to be in the top 8. Top 16 score, but top 8 mean the most. That's going to be 154.80 for Bustos. Second place on that one will go to Holmes.
Heat 6, final heat.
155.34. And third place went to Fessenden from Wayne State at 155.86.
In lane 1, Lucia Rucci. Lane 2, Angie Gomez Garcia. Lane 3, Dominique Van Viteri. Lane 4, Helly Brenier. Lane 5, Rebecca Wallace. Lane 6, Jordan Fox. Lane 7, Kayla Doibel. Lane 8, Isadora Skerrick.
All right, thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. As we are now to the final heat, prelim heat of the women's 200 free. Our leader is Jordan Fox with a 26.33, although there's 3 other 26s, and the rest are 27s. After the first 50, we have 4 laps, 8 wall touches. At the halfway mark right now, it's 54.36 for Fox with another 28.03. Second place, 55.04 for Wallace. This will be interesting to watch, and you have to look at the other times. Our seat time to beat in this heat is actually Briner in lane 4 with a 153.44. And the fastest time we've seen here so far is 153.93 from Barbara Munoz Quintero. We are at the 150-yard mark, final 50 coming in right now. They're on their way home. Looks like Jordan Fox is going to hold on to this, and she does, 151.29. Second place, Rebecca Wallace. The Davenport standout goes 152.77. And third place will go to
And now it's time for the men's 200
Sakarik,
freestyle
Isidore
heat 104.
Sakarik, who goes 154.59. That's a 5-second drop. So all 8 had a personal best in that one. So some good swims again. And now we will transition into the men's 4 heats of the 200 free. Brandon, who do we have in this first heat? Mr. Graff, if you mind. All right, he's indisposed here in this first of 4 heats of the men's 200 free. Our seed time to beat here is Sawyer Shank from Aquinas at 2:14.22. Still waiting for Mr. Graff here to let us know who we have in this one. Here he comes.
In this heat, in lane 1, Keanu Gorecki. Lane 2, Trevor Frericks. Lane 3, Kevin Yorkie. Lane 4, Hoipe Diego Tinoco. Lane 5, Sawyer Shank. Lane 6, Muhammad Eliwat. Lane 7, Alex Parchek. And lane 8, Gavin Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Graff, for that. I am lost here. At 101.25, it's Elawat with the lead from Wayne. At the halfway mark. Probably going to need about 2:07 to win this heat. Maybe faster. At the 3/4 mark, it is 134.95 still for Elawat. They're just ahead of the 135.73 for Shank. Oh, but I was way off. Holy cow. I didn't see how far he was ahead. First place is actually going to go to Alex. That is Alex Parsetich from Olivet Nazarene, who goes 148.64. That's a great time. Second place goes to Free Rich from Wayne at 149.59. Third place is Gorecki, 155.43. All right, we're underway. Second of 4 heats here. Mr. Graff, who will be our competitors here in heat number 2 of the prelims for the men's 200 free?
In lane 1, Conrad Eichbauer. Lane 2, Tomas Jakowski. Lane 3, Manel Casado. Lane 4, Isaac DeVries. Lane 5, Alvaro Ruiz de Canas. Lane 6, Zach Dolman. Lane 7, Mikhail Nizla. And lane 8, Andre Bowman.
Thank you, Mr. Graff, for that. As a 23:40 for Ruiz de Canas. Jeez, oh, Pete. For Ruiz de Canas is our leader at the first 50, as we're about to see the 100. And now our leader is switched to Tomas Jakowski from Wayne State at 48:17. We have 2 sub-50s still, besides Jakowski. We're about to hit the 150-yard mark wanted to go sub 116, and they do. 1:15:13 for Isaac DeVries. He's taken over the lead with the final 50 to go. This has been a seesaw back and forth battle. Almost everybody still in contention on this one in the mid 4 lanes. Last flip turn, heading home. Who's got this one? Inside the flags, looks like it will be DeVries from Saginaw Valley, and it is. He goes 1:41:47. That's a half a second drop for him. Second place is going to go to lane number 3, Manel Casado from Bethel, who goes 1:42:25. That's a 4-second drop for Manel. And third place was out of lane number 5 at 1:42. A 3-second drop for Alvaro Ruiz de Canis from Davenport. So we can expect to see, actually I don't want to say anything with
in lane
still
1,
2 heats to go.
Binagiri. Lane 2, Gage Papalio. Lane 3, Gerard Liberna. In lane 4, Mason Beal. In lane 7, Colin Chin. In lane 8, Drew Gingrich.
Oh, we have 2 scratches here in this heat. Lane 5 and lane 6 are both scratches. Try to figure out what the reason is behind those. Now, nothing is a guaranteed because top 16 will place and score, but it's so close. There could be people within a half a second of each other who make the next 6 or the bottom 8 from the top 8. So we'll keep an eye on that. We're at the halfway mark here of heat 3 of 4 of the men's 200 free. Coming up on the 150-yard mark. 1:41:74 from Mason Beal is our time to beat Olivet Nazarene, and he's at 1:17:29, but actually in second place, just behind or just ahead of him is Gerard Labernia Ohms from Davenport. As they're making their way home right now, who's going to take this one? I think you need to be under 1:43 to guarantee you make it. It's close, and Mason Beal takes it 1:43:14. Second place, as I said, was Ohms at 1:43:48. That's a 3-second drop. Third place, 1:46:62 is Colin Chi. That's a
Heat
4-second drop.
Final heat.
Good times. 5 of the 6 with personal best, or excuse me, 4 of the 6. Now we're into our final heat of the 200-yard freestyle. Let's see what we have in this one. Mr. Graff, take it away.
In lane 1, Elliot Mateic. Lane 2, Sibi Raj. Lane 3, Clayton Kinnard. Lane 4, Jack Fries. Lane 5, Mohammed Ben Ashmia. Lane 6, Harrison Arnold. Lane 7, Nate Shucklebeer. And in lane 8, Elliot Hunter.
All right, thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. All right, coming up on the 150-yard mark. This one's pretty close, too. 1:14:57 for Kennard, 1:14:85 for Benamia. Both the Wayne State standouts duking this one out. On their way home. And hitting the wall. 140-40 for Clayton Kennard. That is a 6-second drop. Second place on that one went to Benajamiah Mohammed, Ben Amiha from Wayne, who went 141.24. That is a 3/4 second drop.
Next event, the women's
And third place, 143.47.
breaststroke, heat 1 of 4.
And that was Jack Fries from Olivet Nazarene. Now we are going to transition back to the women's 200-yard breaststroke. We'll have 4 heats here. And let's find out who's going to be in the first heat here, the 200 breast. Mr. Graff, please let us know who are our competitors in this first of 4 heats of the 200-yard breaststroke.
In lane 2, Megan Deliri. Lane 3, Kaylin Darby. Lane 4, Mia Bem. Lane 5, Caitlin Sedgida. Lane 6, Madeline Puera. Lane 7, Justine Circa.
All right. Let's see, what is the seat time to beat here? For the 200 breast, it is, the fastest time we have is 3:09.98. Coming up on the first 100. So at the halfway mark, when they get back, looks like it'll be lane 3. Darby from Saginaw Valley will be at 1:12.00. Coming back. This is going to be very fast. Well faster than the 2 seat times we have, a 3:09. These are going to be in that competitive range around 2:24, 2:25. Coming up right now at the 149 mark with a final 50 to go. That's Darby still with the lead from Saginaw Valley. She's holding at 38.99 for her third 50 with the final 1 to go. They hit the wall, and some are inside the flag right now. And let's look at Darby in lane number 3. And she takes the tape at 2:30.51. Kayleen Darby goes 2:30.51 for first place. Second place, Megan Dallaire from Wayne goes 2:37.83. Remember, the top 24 will race tonight in the finals, but only the top 16 score. Well, you know, folks, after the start of this, I'm about to get misty here on just the absolutely beautiful email I just received as this second heat of 4 of the women's 200 breast takes place.
In lane 1, Emma McClellan. Lane 2, Kayla Logius. Lane 3, Joanna Burnham. Lane 4, Hassan Horling. Lane 5, Grace Charnstrom. Lane 6, Sarah Norman. Lane 7, Michaelan Van Eerden. Lane 8, Anna Beanstead.
Thank you once again to the Azuno Chin family. I did nothing but just recognize great athleticism and effort, and you guys make me feel pretty special. So thank you for the wonderful email and the kind words. I wish you and your family the happiest, safest, and since your son will be able to be there with you, the best Thanksgiving ever. Thank you for the kind notes. All right, as Mr. Graff, you heard him talk about who is in this heat. I got to quickly pop out for a second to talk to Davenport head coach Justin Vasquez, who is the head coach for the host team. And he walks this way. I'm going to cut out for a quick second. Where are we at? 109.63 for Horling, 109.99 for Burnham. That's from Wayne and Hillsdale, respectively, 1-2 at the halfway mark. The seed time to beat on this one is actually Haston Horling from Wayne at 2:24.35. As they are coming up here on the 150-yard mark with a final 50 to go. Horling still in the lead at 146.33 with a 36.70. Last 50 to go. Who is going to take the second heat? We'll be right back, folks. All right, congratulations to Haston Horling with a 37.68 to go 2:24.01 and take first place in that heat. And that's a quarter of a second drop. Second place goes to Burnham, Joanna Burnham, who goes 2:26.82. And that's a 4-second drop. And
Heat
quickly third
three.
place, Gurecki from Wayne goes 2:29.66. I beg your pardon. That was lane 5, so Charnstrom. All right, we now are into heat 3 of 4.
In lane 1, Rota Edegecko. Lane 2, Claire DeKivet. Lane 3, Tegan Risher. Lane 4, Ella Wagner. Lane 5, Hannah Gurecki. Lane 6, Jenna Schmidt. Lane 7, Megan Chimney. And lane 8, Kennedy Pierce.
All right. Third of 4 heats here. Our seed time to beat in this heat is Ella Wagner from Davenport in lane number 4, who has a 2:23.12. If she can hold that. But we do have Juliet Vega from Olivet Nazarene, who has the best seed time of the whole swim meet for the 200 breast at 2:15.99. I'll be anxious to see her heat coming up after this one. But I think we're going to see some fireworks in this heat as well. Holding a slight lead right now out of lane 4, Ella Wagner from Davenport. She's going to be at 108.27 with a 35.85. Second place, 109.32 is Gurecki. 109.92 is Risher. Tegan Risher, I don't remember calling her name, from Bethel earlier yet, so she must be a true breaststroker. Heading back right now, coming up on the 150-yard marker. Wanted to be under 145. And she's at 145.09 is Ella Wagner. Then 147.90 for Gurecki. 148.42 for Risher. 152.19 for Schmidt. As now they're coming home. Final 50. We are going to see some personal bests, I'm pretty sure. Half a pool length to go here at the 2:13 mark. Wagner now with a 2 body length lead, and she will hit the wall at 2:24.84. Let me double check that. No, that was 2:22.84. I'm so sorry. She had a personal best by almost a second. I don't want to cheat her out of that. 2:27.65 for Gorecki. And third place, 2:27.71. Man, was that close, was Tegan Rischer from Bethel. 0.06 of a second.
Final heat.
Now we're going to go to the final heat. And again, pay very close attention to lane number 4, Julieta Vega. And they're off. Here we go, our final heat for the women in the 200
lane
breast.
1, Maya Goal. Lane 2, Lauren Camp. Lane 3, Mallory Brownrigg. Lane 4, Julieta Vega. Lane 5, Emma Dickhut. Lane 6, Madison Labrie. Lane 7, Rose Haney. And lane 8, Phoebe Johnston.
All right, thank you that for Mr. Graff. And we are doing really well. We're only, we're within 3 minutes of on schedule. And we started a few minutes late. So really, truthfully, I'm impressed. We're way better than we were at either of the first 3 sessions in terms of time compared to the heat sheets. So for those of you joining us, where if you were looking specifically on Meet Mobile for a specific time, you can tell, or I can tell you, we are just about on time. Thank you, sir. Everything good? Everything good? Okay. All right. Coming up on the 100-yard mark, it is... We're at the 106, 107. At 109.83, only about a half a second ahead of Brownrigg and Dickhut is Juliet Vega. Vega with that 35.90 for her second 50. This is some really fast breaststroke right now, folks. They still got another 100, well, actually about 75 yards to go. Let's see if this pace continues. I think Julieta Vega is pushing the other two, but you can see right now, second, third, and fourth place are within a body length. This is fun, folks. Getting ready for the final 50 as they hit the wall. Vega right now at 146.27 with a 36.44. On her heels in the 38s is Brownrigg, Dickhut, and Labrie. Here they go, final 50. I'm telling you, if you think this is exciting, this is the prelims. Wait till tonight. These ladies are going to be battling. And we're seeing it is just contagious. But look at Vega. She went exploded in this final 50. It's not going to be her best time. She's actually going to go 2:21.75. But she just went crazy on that last 50 with a 35.48. Second is Dickhut from Hillsdale at 2:27.57. Third place is Brownrigg, who goes 2:28.37. That's a 2-second drop. And that was fun. Now it's going to be tough to see who is going to be where for the finals tonight. We'll take a look at that.
And now the men's 200 breaststroke, heat 1 of 3.
The boys will have 3 heats here of the 200 breast. And the horn is underway. The swimmers are off the blocks. Brandon, who are our competitors in this first heat?
In lane 2, Griffin Hurley. Lane 3, Joe Leonard. Lane 4, Alex Duhame. Lane 5, Yulian Lozea. Lane 6, Cesar Robles. And lane 7, Marco Fusilic.
All right, thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. As the men's turn for the 200 breast. At the first 50, it is 27.98 for Lizay, Julian Lizay from Davenport. Second place on that one at 28.49 is Duhame, who we just saw not long ago here. All right, at the halfway mark, it is almost a virtual tie between Duhame and Lizay. They're at 1:0023 and 1:0038. So within 0.15 seconds of each other going into the back 100. Hitting the wall. Wow. Look at this. Just a slight advantage now for, it looks like, I think it's Duhame now. And it is at 132.96, 133.76. So an 0.8 of a second lead going into the last 50. The seed time to beat here is going to be crushed. It was 2:10.62 for Duhame. Last wall coming home. About a half a body length lead still for Duhame, and I think he's going to take this first heat with a time of 2:06.24. That is a 4-second drop. Second place is Julian Lizay from Davenport, who goes 2:07.15. Folks, that's an 8-second drop. Third place, Robels goes, no, I beg your pardon. That was Vucelik from Wayne, goes 2:09.79. That's a personal best. It was fourth place. In lane 3 is Joe Leonard at 2:14, dropping 2 seconds. And that'll bring us into heat number 2. Okay. Let's take a look at our 7 competitors in this second heat. Not sure if we had issues. I'm not sure with the officiating. The officials are looking at the table.
In lane 1, James Vialasi. Lane 2, Andrew Cobley. Lane 3, Arthur Marquez. Lane 4, Ethan Horda. Lane 5, Brody Milleroff. Lane 6, Luke Martin. Lane 7, Josh Rotier.
All right, thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. Our seat time.
Coaches, results for the 200 breaststroke.
Thank you, Mr. Graff. Ethan Holwerda from Olivet Nazarene has the seed time to beat in this heat at 2:10.59. We'll see where they're at the 100-yard. I missed the 50 as I was trying to troubleshoot whatever happened at the start of this meet, or this heat. .102.12 for Milleroff as the lead, just ahead of Holwerda from Olivet. When we hit the wall next, it will be the 150-yard mark. And look at that, Rotier from Saginaw Valley with a 33.51 at 135 has the lead. What a pickup there. 34.09 for Holwerda, 34.33 for Milleroff. Last 50, they're coming home right now. Are we going to have another one of those surprises? And it looks like we will. And a far lane, is Joshua Rotier going to surprise the heat? And he does. 2:08.46. That's a personal best. Second place will go to Vilasi from Wayne, goes 2:10.11. Third place is Milleroff, 2:11 flat. That's a 1.5 drop. Fourth place is Holwerda, 2:12.94.
Heat 3, final heat.
All right, and that'll bring us to our fourth and final heat for the men's 200-yard breaststroke. Keep an eye on Owen Stender in lane number 4. He has the seed time to beat here at 2:06.14. Mr. Graff, who are our competitors?
In lane 1, Christian Rotier. Lane 2, Tony Parlato. Lane 3, Joey Dumkowski. Lane 4, Owen Stender. Lane 5, Robert Hall. Lane 6, Micah Scholl. Lane 7, Jason Swinson.
Owen Stender with a 27:36 to have the lead. 28:45 for Dombrowski and 28:50 for Robert Hall. But still very close for first through fifth. Coming up on the halfway mark when they hit the wall next. And it looks like Stender still has the lead. And actually he's opened the lead to a little over a full body length. He's going to hit the wall at 57.81 at the halfway mark with a 30.45. Next up with a 32.02 is Christian Rotier from Saginaw Valley and 30.18 from Joey Dombrowski from Wayne. 32.84 from Davenport's Robert Hall. Man, speed begets speed, folks. Monkey see, monkey do, if you will. Stender at the wall, 150 yards. He's still under 31 with a 128.77. If he can hold this, we might see our first sub-2. I would love to see a sub-2, and I think we will tonight. On his way home with 10 seconds to go, he's picking it up. Does he got it? He's at 154. 6 seconds to go inside the flags. About to hit the wall. Oh my goodness gracious. He goes 2:0021. He went 31:44 for that last 50. Congratulations, Owen Stender. You will be the #1 seed tonight in the men's 200-yard breaststroke. Holy cow, he dropped 5 more seconds. Correction, 6 more seconds to go 2:0021. Second place went to Dombrowski from Wayne. He went 2:08.32. Third place went to Rotier from Saginaw Valley, 2:08.51. And fourth place went to Robert Hall at 2:10.53.
And now the women's 100 backstroke.
Now
Heat 1 of 4.
We're going to have 4 heats now of the women's 100 back. And we're off. Let's see who we have in this first heat. Brandon Graff, would you be so kind to let us know, or did we have a scratch? Hold on, let's take a quick peek here. There's some issue going on right now with the scoreboard, but it doesn't appear to be affecting the timing system as we're coming up on our first 50.
In lane 1, Michaela Muir. Lane 2, Madeline Critchell. Lane 3, Katie Sanders. Lane 4, Isabel Newett. Lane 5, Michaela Sampson. Lane 6, Emma McNamara. And lane 7, Ellie Fontanetta.
Wow, at the first 50, it is Michaela Murr from Davenport in lane number 1 with the lead. You don't see that very often. And it looks like she's going to, actually, it's going to be close on the other end. About to hit the wall. And going 103.69 is Michaela Murr. Second place was Nikayla Sampson from Hillsdale. She goes 107.65. That is a 2-second drop. Third place is Isabel Newett from Bethel, who goes 108.79. Beg your pardon, 108.59, which is about a 1/10 of a second drop. So good swims all around here. Oh, and we have Ellie Fontaine from Olivet Nazarene in this one. I didn't notice that till right now. She is a very inspirational story. She is swimming right now down in lane number 7. I love how the competitors have gotten behind her and have been just such a positive influence on her swimming here. She's trying to best her 2:45.39. I beg your pardon, 2:25.74. And she will with a time of 2:21.74.
Heat 2.
Now we are into heat number 2 of 4 here. And now we have some sub 1 minute. We have 3 in this heat and 3 in the next one. But I'm going to guess we're going to end up seeing, you're definitely going to have to be under a minute to be able to get, thank you, to be able to get the top 8 tonight. We will have 4.
In lane 1, Aubrey Velton. Lane 2, Leah Horvath. Lane 3, Caroline Holmes. Lane 4, Paige Howell. Lane 5, Chelsea Inglesman. Lane 6, Zai Shank. Lane 7, Sarah Panchek. Lane 8, Megan Hitcher.
Again, Mrs. Shank, don't hate me. It's not me that did it wrong. It was our public address announcer, and I've tried to explain to him, but he's struggling because we are really all over the globe with the names. So I appreciate the fact that he's doing the best that he can, considering how many challenging names we have with no pronunciation sheets. So anyway, we are here now, coming up on the end right now. How many more sub minutes are we going to have? It's hard to see who's going to win this one. I think it will be Caroline Holmes in lane number 3 goes 58.44. Second place, Chelsea Engelsma goes 58.94. So a half a second differential between first and second place. 58.44.
Heat 3.
And 58.94. Third place was lane 3. No, lane 4. 59.12. All right, we are into the third of 4 heats here. We had some good swims, though, in that first one. Both Carolyn Holmes.
In lane 1, Mikhail Van Ansdale. Lane 2, Amelia Edens. Lane 3, Ella Banning. Lane 4, Alicia Pinkowitz. Lane 5, Ellie Belmore. Lane 6, Sierra Mason. Lane 7, Maylee Lingley. And lane 8, Emma Hale.
Yes, this is heat 3 of 4, and I misspoke on the last one, folks. I said we had 6 more. We actually have 9 more sub minutes. So it is a sure thing that you can be under a minute and not in the top 8. That's pretty impressive, folks. In the women's 100-yard backstroke. And taking this heat, it will be 56.50 for Alicia Pinkowitz. Second place will go to Ellie Belmore.
Heat
who goes
4, final heat.
58.03. And third place out of lane number 2, Amelia Edens from Aquinas, goes 59.72.
In lane 1, Allison Early. Lane 2, Haley Waters. Lane 3, Axa Riccioni. Lane 4, Hannah Martin Cook. Lane 5, Caitlin Inman. Lane 6, Evie Dice. Lane 7, Irene Del Castro. Lane 8, Cassie Scott.
All right, as I said, we have 3 sub 1 minute breaststrokers or backstrokers already in this one. But our seat time to beat is Hannah Martin Cook from Saginaw Valley at 56.75. And folks, I'm telling you, I'm going to be looking at Meet Mobile after this one is officially processed to see what our top 8 is going to be. But I think you're going to have to be sub 58 to be in the top 8. That, my friends, is lightning fast. All right, we're coming back right now. We're going to see who is going to capture this heat. Inside the flag's about to hit. Hannah Martin Cook goes 57.30. Second place is going to go to Bethel's
Next up, the men's 100
Max
backstroke, heat 1 of 3.
Riccioni, who goes 59.56. And third place at 59.57 out of lane 5 is Caitlin Inman. This is gonna be really interesting, folks, as I said. Congratulations to Evie Dice from Wayland. She went sub 1 minute for the first time this year with a
In lane 1,
59.89.
Matthew Lloyd. Lane 2, Elliot Matiak. Lane 3, Matthew Richmond. Lane 4, Marcel Setlak. Lane 5, Eric Pertzak. Lane 6, Michael Miner. Lane 7, Ian Clapp. And lane 8, Keanu Gorecki.
All right, thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. At the halfway mark here of the men's first of 3 heats of the 100 back, it is a 24.78 for Setlak from Davenport. 150 to go. They are flying it here. Our seed time to beat here is Setlak's 51. I was hoping to see sub 50 to either this morning or tonight. We'll find out. Inside the flags. And it's going to be 50.98 for Setlak. That drops 0.02 of a second for him. Second place is going to be Perzak underneath him. His teammate Eric goes 52.75, and that's a 1/10 of a second. Have to keep an eye on this one, folks. All right, Mr. Graff, who do we have in heat number 2?
In lane 1, Brandon Pritzitson. Lane 2, Joe O'Neill. Lane 3, Ali Sheet. Lane 4, Eric Slabbert. Lane 5, Lorenzo Tassinari. Lane 6, Titus Smith. Lane 7, Evan Hurtado. Lane 8, Ryan Kruger.
Thank you, Mr. Graff, for that. And we know our seed time to beat in this one is Saginaw Valley State's Eric Slabbert with a 50.71. He had the lead at the half, but actually, no. Actually, it's Lorenzo Tassinari from Wayne with the lead at the halfway mark. Now they're coming back right now. Who's going to take this one? And it will be, wow, we had our first sub 50. Going 49.85 here in the prelims. Congratulations, Lorenzo Tassinari, who goes 49.85, drops 2 seconds to take first. Slabbert goes 50.58 for second. That drops time. And third place on that one was Evan Hurtado from Aquinas, who goes 52.03. That's a 4-second drop. Great times all around here, folks.
In lane 1, Colin Neely. Lane 2, Bryce Rodriguez. Lane 3, Fort Crackle. Lane 4, Clayton Kinnard. Lane 5, Alan Robles Ruiz. Lane 6, Ryan Harrison. Lane 7, Zach Pauley. Lane 8, Mitchell McMath.
Well, we've had our first sub 50 second from Tassinari. Are we going to see that beat as well by either Clayton Kinnard or Alejandro Robles Ruiz? We'll find out here at the halfway mark. Looks like Robles Ruiz is on pace for it. He's at a 23.95. Let's see what he gets in his back 50. If he does a negative split, folks, oh my goodness. 47, 48, 49, and we got 2 more. 49, 49 for Robles Ruiz to take first. That is a 2 1/4 second drop there for Alejandro Robles Ruiz. Second place with a 49.78 is Clayton Kinnard. And third place, 52.87 for Ford Crackle. 7 of the 8.
And now the women's 50-yard freestyle, heat 1 of 5.
Were personal bests. Some very fast times. I'm telling you, 3 people will be in the top 8 will be under 50 seconds tonight. Wow. Now on to the 50 free. There's going to be 5 heats for the women.
In lane 1 is Doris Garrick. Lane 2, My Goal. Lane 3, Narisha Arlene. Lane 4, Bree Leash. Lane 5, Brielle Shaw. Lane 6, Ellie Fontanetta. Lane 7, Peyton McClaskey.
All right, as I said, we have 5 heats here for the women and 4 for the men. Winning this first one, going 24-81 from Wayne State, Isadore Sakarik, 24-81. Maya Gold goes 26-11 for second place. And third place is Peyton Michalski from Wayne with a 26-37. And all right, flip the page here for our second heat. What were the 2 best times so far? 24-37.
Heat 2.
Nope, 24-81, I'm sorry.
So lane 4 timers know they're sitting around, right?
All right, Mr. Graff, who do we have in the second of 5 heats here?
In lane 1, Olivia Leathers. Lane 2, Lauren Metzke. Lane 3, Lauren Camp. Lane 4, Claire Heines. Lane 5, Aubrey Veltson. Lane 6, Kylie Clark. Lane 7, Lauren Cordier. And lane 8, Michaela Sampson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Graff here. And let's see, 24-81 is our right now seed time. Winning this one at 24-01 is Claire Hines from Aquinas. Second place was 24-35
Coaches, results for the 100 backstroke are now posted.
for Lauren Camp.
Heat
And
3.
third place, 24-85 out of lane 6. All right, as we're in heat 3, I can't guarantee that sub 24 is going to be enough.
Pierce. Lane 2, Joe Katolski. Lane 3, Mia Points. Lane 4, Hannah Gorecki. Lane 5, Jalen Harrison. Lane 6, Veronica Markwood. Lane 7, Ashley Perry. Lane 8, Jenna Fugly.
All right, as I said, they're coming inside the flags at the 22nd mark. What's going to win this heat? It's 23-96 for Hannah Gorecki. Our first sub 24. Second place at
Heat
24-34 was Kutalski from Wayne. And 24-39 for lane 6. That was Veronica Markwood. Now for heat 5, what do we got, Brandon?
In lane 1, Kennedy Pierce. Lane 2, in lane 1, Kelly Lucero. Lane 2, Kayla Doible. Lane 3, Sabine Branford. Lane 4, Taylor King. Lane 5, Emily Helgren. Lane 6, Ella Yance. Lane 7, Haley Waters. Lane 8, Emma Scott.
All right, Brandon just got those in as we get our winner. Sabine Branford from Wayne goes 23-65. That's a second and a quarter drop. Second place on that one goes to Julia Mizik. No, I beg your pardon. They already switched the names. That's a lane 5. That's Emil Helgren from Davenport at 23.96.
In this final heat, in lane 1, Micah Casper. Lane 2, Sarah Norman. Lane 3, Evie Dice. Lane 4, Julieta Vega. Lane 5, Julia Mitzik. Lane 6, Emily Solarski. Lane 7, Lucia Rucci. Lane 8, Chloe Boyven.
All right, here we come. At the 19-20, inside the flags, about to hit the wall. It'll be, wow, Julia Mizik from Davenport goes 24-32.
Next up, the men's 50-yard freestyle, heat 104.
And 24-38. Vega is second at 24-38. And third out of lane 3, 24-67. And that's a drop for Evie Dice. Now we're into the men's. They have 4 heats of it.
In lane 1, Lucas Harding. Lane 2, Austin Husky. Lane 3, Joe Rush. Lane 5, Griffin Hurley. Lane 6, Sawyer Shank. Lane 7, Zach Pauley. Lane 8, Muhammad Aliwat.
All right, they're on their way back right now. Who's going to take this first heat? There was a scratch in lane 4. It's going to be lane number 5. That is Griffin Hurley, who goes 23:19.
Heat 2.
With 23:59 second place in lane number 1, which is Lucas Harding. Congratulations, though, to Aquinas'
In
Griffin
lane 1,
Hurley.
Colin Jones. Lane 2, João Pedro Nogueira. Lane 3, Logan Byrne. Lane 4, Christian Ratier. Lane 5, Joshua Ratier. Lane 6, Connor Spanos. Lane 7, Mitchell McMath. And lane 8, Colin Allward.
Do we have a chance to see our first sub 21? Maybe in the finals. 21:81 for Rotier.
Heat 3.
Which Rotier? For Josh goes 21:81. Second place was in lane number 3, Bernd from Bethel. Wow, also
In lane
within
1,
21.
Nate Chucklebeer. Lane 2, Gabe Carell. Lane 3, Joshua Mahaney. Lane 4, Porter Hoffman. Lane 5, Kylan Harnum. Lane 6, Gavin Cruz. Lane 7, Joey Dumkowski. Lane 8, Gage Papaleo.
All right, about to hit the flags. Who's got this one? 21:09 for Peter Hoffman. Second place, 21:43 for Mahaney.
Heat 4.
And third place out of lane 6 was Gavin Cruz at 21:47. As we go to the fourth heat right now, this is going to be so fast of a top 8 tonight. All right, Brandon's going to miss it. It's Dumsky in 1, Scholl in 2, Karpinski is in 3, Mills is in 4, Vialasi's in 5, Schroeder's in 6, and Vinagri is in 7, and Kruger's in 8. Winning that one at 20:41 is Mills. Holy cow, sub 21, our only one. Second place, 21:13 out of lane 5, Vialasi. And third place, 21:56 for Schroeder. Fourth place was Scholl at 21:69. And Kruger 21:80. Holy cow, folks. That's going to complete our regular stuff, but we do have some, we are going to have some time trials here before we conclude the morning. We're going to have actually 4 time trials ranging from 100 breast, a 200 fly, a 200 free, and a 200 breast. That was impressive. Nice catch. There was true athleticism on that one. And I have it on video. All right. Thank you, Marshall Carr. He's giving me the results for the 3-meter going into tonight's championship. We'll start.
All right, we have a couple time trials here in lane 4. Logan Fox for a 100 breaststroke.
All right, we're going to start out with Logan Fox doing his 100 breaststroke from Saginaw Valley. He is assured of a victory in this race. And it's as much about the confidence of that as anything else. We want to thank you for joining us here on the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network. I would strongly encourage using as a companion here to the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network would be the Meet Mobile. 24:68 is where Logan's at the halfway mark. I'm assuming he wanted to go sub 52, maybe sub 53. It's going to be close. Inside the flags at 50 seconds. And he's going to hit the wall at 53:31. And there's some excited coaches there. What does that do, Coach? Somebody help me out. Coach,
And
what?
now we have Marco Visilic.
Okay, that's all right.
with
That
a
just he
200
said that will
butterfly.
guarantee that he's going to go to the conference championship. All right, so I was curious. They were very excited about that. And, of course, we're happy for Logan Fox to that 53:31. Now we are into Marco Vucelic from Wayne doing the 200 fly. 4 laps of the butterfly. About to hit the wall at his first 50. He's 25:59. My suspicion is he's trying to go sub 2 minutes. If I wanted to swim 200 yards butterfly, I would not need a stopwatch. I would need a calendar. He is coming up on the halfway mark right now. Let's see where he's at. It'll be about 54. He's going to hit the wall at 54:53, halfway there. I definitely think he's trying to go sub 2 minutes. It's going to be tough to hold these for this back 100 of the fly. He definitely has to be no more than 124 at the wall. He did it, 124.09. It's going to be really close. Will he go sub 2 minutes? It's real close. Let's see where he's at the wall on his final flip turn. It's going to be so close, folks. He's at about 1:45 right now with half the pool length to go. He's at 150, folks. I think he's going to do it. He's inside the flags at 153. 2 pulls to go. He hits the wall at 155.84. Nicely done there, Marco Vucelic. I beg your pardon. 155.84. Now it's going to be Benjamin Wayman from Saginaw Valley.
We have Benjamin Wayman.
He's going to be doing
200 freestyle.
Doing the 200 free. Brandon's stepping on my toes here. There he goes. I'm guessing he's looking for sub 140. Not 100% sure of that, but that would be my guess right off the top. He's going to hit the wall at 24:22 for his first 25. .140, 142, not out of the range here. It's going to be real interesting to see where he's at the halfway mark here. Benjamin Wayman right now hits the wall at 50.67. That is not on pace for a 140, but he is definitely on pace for about a 145, maybe a 146. Coming up right now at the 150-yard mark. He needs to be under 118. And he's at 117.70, so he's got a shot at it. If he, let's just say he gets a 29, that's going to be 146. He wanted 145. It's going to be, what has he got left in the tank? He hit the last flip turn. He's on his way home right now at 134. He still has half the pool to go, 139. Inside the flags at 140, 42, 43. Hits the wall, 143.84. He did it. He went under his 145, what he was shooting for. Congratulations, Benjamin Wainman, who goes 143.84 in the 200 free. Our final time trial of the morning, Aaron Allegra from Olivet Nazarene for the 200 breast. All right, we have a Bethel swimmer. All right, apparently we have 2 more time trials. I only had 1. So I guess we are going to have to turn on Mr. Graff again. All right, we are correct, though, on Allegri doing the 200 breast. But apparently we have 1 more time trial after this. He's in the water right now. Let's see where he's at after the first 50. Coming up right now, he wanted to be under 29, 28 for sure, but he's at actually 30.23. So my guess is he's trying to be under 206. His teammates are definitely cheering him on here. All right, coming back at the halfway mark. He was at 104 with a 33.99. Maybe he's trying for sub 210. It's hard to gauge, folks, when I don't have information on this one, and especially I'm not familiar with the swimmer. He's at the 1.5-minute mark. Inside the flags at 136. Hitting the wall at 139.74 with a final 25 or final 50 to go here. Guessing he's probably going to go at about a 37, maybe a 38. He's on his way home right now, just under 2 minutes. Still has about 11 yards to go here. Inside the flags, is he going to go sub 215? It's going to be close, and he's going to go 215.87. This is a 50 free for Andre Bowman. And he's off. The Bethel standout doing his final time trial here. My guess is he wants to be faster than 23. Hits the wall on his way home. He might, man, this is going to be interesting. Inside the flags at 20. He will hit the wall at 22.72. Nice job there for Andre Bowman. And that concludes our time trials. Folks, it has been Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs fast, super exciting, and I can only count the seconds until finals tonight, where I think we're in store for some amazing swims and some spectacular races. There's only one place you can catch that action. Either come here live to the KPS Aquatic Center on the campus of East Kentwood High School, or tune us in exclusively on the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network. That's going to about just wrap it up here today. For our meet manager and our public address announcer, Brandon Graff, for my executive producer and director, Chase Joseph, I'm Joey Sutherland. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back on the air for the finals tonight at about 5:50 p.m. Until then, thanks for watching. Enjoy football.